During my parents' anniversary dinner, my brother hijacked the evening to announce his massive new startup venture. Without a moment's hesitation, my father pointed a finger at me and declared, "You're emptying your savings to fund it." I walked out without a word. The next morning, the silence was broken by a private investigator knocking on my door. Mom cheered and embraced him like he had cured a disease. Then Dad pointed across the table at me. "You're emptying your savings to fund it." I froze. "Excuse me?" My brother chuckled dismissively. "You don't even have a mortgage. You have all that disposable income." 12 people around the table, and not a single one said, "Maybe you should ask her first." I slowly pushed my chair back and walked out without a word. The next morning, a man in a gray suit stood on my porch. "Legal documents for you." My father had hired a private investigator to serve me a fraudulent breach of contract notice, claiming I verbally committed to being an angel investor. The investigator handed me the envelope, glanced at my well-furnished condo, and sighed. "Forging a verbal agreement affidavit is a felony in Washington," he muttered. I knew exactly who swore the false statement. My phone exploded for 4 days. Guilt, threats, and fabricated panic. My brother finally called. "The developers need a $45,000 deposit by Friday. The servers alone cost $12,000 a month. You work at a Fortune 500 company. You have nothing better to do." "That is absolutely not how this works," I fired back. "They already put your name on the founder's page," he manipulated. "Are you going to humiliate me in front of my investors?" I hung up. Then my mother called, her tone shifting to ice. "If you don't show up Friday night, I'll tell the extended family you are bankrupting your own flesh and blood." "Tell them whatever you want," I replied coldly. "I'll be there, and I guarantee I'll have something to share." She went silent. She expected me to apologize and write a check to keep the peace. 2 days later, my father called. "Your mother printed press releases with you as CFO. The photographer arrives at 6. Bring your checkbook." "I already said no, Dad, I know," he replied. "That is the problem we are fixing." He let the silence stretch. The same psychological trick he'd used since middle school. Wait long enough, and I'd cave. Not this time. I called Aunt Vera, the quiet woman who always sat in the corner at holidays. "They pulled this exact grift on me 25 years ago," she confessed. "Forced me to co-sign a loan for your father's first failed company. I spent 7 years digging out of debt. Nobody offered a dime. I'll be at that party," she told me with a newfound edge. I should have burned their house of cards down decades ago. My cousin Spencer forwarded a screenshot of my brother texting the family chat. "Margot's acting completely unhinged about my startup. I think she's bitter she's stuck in middle management. Please don't mention the funding around her." He was destroying my credibility before I even spoke. I wrote 3 facts on a business card and slid it into my pocket. Friday night, 50 people crowded into the downtown loft, champagne clinking, a projector displaying the new logo. My mother tapped her glass. "We are so blessed Margot has agreed to empty her savings as our primary investor." She aimed a blinding smile at me. "Right, sweetheart?" Every head pivoted to me. I did not smile. My brother leaned over the podium. "Seriously, what exactly are you holding on to that money for? A luxury vacation?" My uncle scoffed. "Wouldn't kill you to support your family, kid." I stood up slowly. "Can I say something?" My mother relaxed, assuming I was surrendering. "I need everyone to listen carefully," I announced, "because several of you have been fed absolute lies about me this week. First, I never agreed to fund this company. Nobody asked me to invest. I was assigned the role of an ATM." My mother's jaw dropped. "Second, the morning after our parents' anniversary, a private investigator arrived at my home. Someone in this family filed a fraudulent legal affidavit claiming I made a binding verbal contract." My uncle lowered his glass. "Someone sent a pie to your house?" My mother's face turned gray. Third, I turned to my brother. "You told this family I was bitter and unhinged about your success. You planted that narrative so nobody would believe a word I said today." Full story on the channel, link below.